Adire textile production is one of the very many age-long surviving trades of Yoruba people, and it is assumed to be inborn business, inherited by birth or heritage, passed on to descendants of families who were involved in production process. In Egbaland, the craft was formerly known to be a family business, as parents passed the techniques down to their female children and the wives of their sons. For a long time, people who were not from a certain family were not allowed to take part in Adire production, as it was a part of family's heritage. The famous Adire, according to oral history, was first produced in Jojolola's compound of Kenta, Abeokuta by Chief Mrs. Minia Jojolola Shueto, the second Yalode of Egbaland, who then passed on the process to our children and onward to the future generations. Chief Mrs. Shadia Akamo is the current Yaloja Kenta Adire Kampala market in Itoku. She happens to be one of the great-grandchildren of Mama Jojolola. According to her, the first Adire material was made with teru, the local white attire, and elu, local dye, made from elu leaf, which is planted in the Shaki area of Oyo State. This tells how Adire has been part and parcel of the Yoruba culture before the advent of colonial masters.
Mo jẹ́ ọmọ ìkẹrin sí Ìyálóde Jojolola.
I am one of the great-granddaughters of the woman that introduced Adire Kampala to Egbaland.
Tó jẹ́ ìyá tó mú Adire wọ ìlú Ẹ̀gbá bí tàn ṣe sọ fún wa.
For this young entrepreneur, Chief Michael Ogunfidodo, who also inherited the trades from his parents, Adire, whether created by old process or new ideas, has continued to face fashion challenges. But despite that, it is still an alternative to machine prints. He said people spend all days, sometimes all night, to produce new patterns. But within 3 weeks, China will produce the same pattern in lower prices.
To be honest, I would not say is China made Adire. That's not like China make Adire, because China, they don't make Adire. The only thing that China does is imitation of our own designs. Because we make Adire, we produce Adire, we design. Adire is about creativity. We do the creativity. The only thing they do is they snap our creativity in terms of taking the picture, take it to wherever they want to take it, and end up producing mass production nylon type. So, and that's what they have been doing, and they are killing the industry. They are killing young, talented people. They are killing inspiration of people. Like, you know, I can sit down, formulate a design. Before you know it, in the next 1 week, 2 weeks, the design will be out. So are they encouraging me to actually sit down and think to create another design again? No. So they are actually killing. It's not only killing the business. They are even killing the intellectual ability of people to reason.
The textile appeals very much to the fashion conscious in Yoruba land, Nigeria, and on a global level, despite imitations from across the globe. Dickiness Malaolu Mojisola Alarakwe, who was born into the business in 1953, said the business has not been the same again, as the Chinese people came around to study it and went away with many designs, produced them, and sent them back to the Nigerian market.
I was born into it. To the glory of God, it was my parents' work. It was my grandparents' work. So I thank God. Not quite long that we discovered that the Chinese, immediately after making bridge anyway, maybe when they came for the bridge making, they discovered that there's something they can trend on here. It's really flooding our markets. Too much. Like this one I'm putting on, they have made it. We don't know how they get the pattern. If you make any new pattern, they will make it.
Many people are now scared of investing in the business because of China products which have taken over the market. Customers now prefer to pick their products from China over the ones made in Nigeria because they are sold at cheaper prices.
They know, but because of the situation of the country, they dance to it. Government can help us to ban it totally so that we will have records of Adire again. If they don't spoil it, stop it, there will be nothing like Adire again. So they should help us. This is our grandparents' work. It should not go like that. When you even talk of the native, they are now making it. You talk of anyone, tie and dye, they are now making it at cheaper rates. When you take a cloth of 15,000, 10,000, they will make it on 3,000 cloths. Initially, when they started, it was making sand, but now it's not making sand again. When they started it, it was so hard, but now it's getting soft.
Marketers and producers are now urging government to help provide solution to this issue, describing it as a big threat to the business. Mr. Okoyemi Ojo is a graduate of the Federal University of Agriculture, Abeokuta. He studied crop protection, but has chosen Adire business as a means of livelihood.
When I finished my institution, that's the FUNAB, and there's no helping, and I try to look for a job. I work in several places in one farm, asbestos farm, and there's no, things are not going on the way I wanted, but I just find a way. Let me go back to where I started from. That's what I learned as a skill. Adire business is a lucrative business to the extent that it have people overseas. They like our local wear, all our local attires of 10. You don't know the value of things until you lose it. People here, we don't know the value of what we have. It is people outside there that know the value of our local things.
For this indigenous trade to continue to hold its enviable position in global fashion, the Ogun State Governor, Prince Dr. Abiodun, in his infrastructural drive, is giving Ashero Adire Kampala market a facelift to address the challenges hindering the growth of Adire business to build a sustainable fashion industry. The saying that building a woman is like building a nation came to be in the course of promotion of the trade as Adire Fashion Week was again organized by the Ogun State government, where over 100 women entrepreneurs in Adire business benefited from direct cash grants from the Ajoshi Foundation, a brainchild of the wife of the Ogun State governor, Mrs. Bamidele Abiodun. It has also been mandated by the Ogun State governor, Prince Dr. Abiodun, for all workers in the state to always wear Adire attires on Fridays, which is strictly being adhered to boost the business of Adire in the state.